When did you first learn about finances as a kid? Or when did you first start learning about finances? Hi, I'm the Frugal Cyborg MR3. In this channel, we talk about frugal living, saving money, and budgeting. So if you like this kind of content, then like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Okay, when I first started hearing about finances as a little child, I did a video on this on Monday, but I'm gonna do a story time, which I guess people like on TikTok. So I'm gonna try that on here today. So when did you first hear about finances? The reason why I asked that is because when I was younger, as a young child, I remember walking around, maybe getting a soda or getting some chips or grabbing some stuff in the kitchen, which I had to go to the living room to get to the kitchen because we had a dining room area which we had to walk through to get to the kitchen. So when I was walking around, I remember seeing my parents do their bills. They had all their bills out, especially their envelopes. They were pulling out everything, paying off whatever they were paying off. Their bills, maybe electric, get credit cards. I don't know. I never asked them that to this day. I just know they were taking care of bills. And that's all I knew as a kid is we got to pay our bills. And the reason why I'm making this a video is because I want to know the or show you the importance of finances and teaching your kids how to be financially responsible at a young age. Some people say give your kids money and they'll learn how to spend money at that age, but which I don't think that is right also, because they need to see you handle your bills. They need to see you pay your bills, because I seen my parents pay their bills. Even to this day, they're never struggling to pay their bills. They're not always catching up on their bills because they know the importance of paying bills. They're not ever catching up on bills. And that's what I want to teach people is no matter how young you think your kids are always going to be observant. So it's better to talk to them at a young age on bills. And maybe if you're handing them money, you can say, make sure you put some money aside for bills. If you're in church, maybe tell them to put some money aside for your tithe or your offering and your offering. So always put money aside in the beginning, so later on it becomes a habit that is going to be healthy for them. I want to make a video on this side of the channel, the narrative, because it is important. People always ask me, how did you get good in finances? Because I saw my parents handle their finances proper. They showed me the meaning of paying their bills on time. They showed me that you could live a good lifestyle if you just stay on top of your bills. That's why I ask, when did you first learn about bills? Mine might have been around 6 to 8 years old, because every month I remember my parents would pull out their envelopes and they would pay their bills. My dad would be looking over my mom's shoulders on the bills or on the other side of the table. To this day, they still do that online, but they do their bills together most of the time. And I learned a lot from that. I'm not married, but I know that even if I was to get married, that I would have to be in the decisions of making the bills, because even as a teenager or even growing up, my parents are always talking about how they were paying their bills and all that. And my mom says, I got to ask your dad on this. And I know the importance of having both involved. So I'm still learning about that. That even if I get married, I have to have my wife involved if I ever get married. So no matter what, you're still going to learn about finances maybe in later in life. But I say that to say this: teach your kids as young as you can. They're always going to be observant. If their finances are going to be bad later on in life, would you want it to be because you didn't teach them? Or did you want to make an excuse that they're too young to learn, or they can learn on their own? That's what I hear parents say about their finances. Well, the wealthy people, if you ever read financial books, they teach their kids at an early age on finances. They talk about it at the dinner table. So maybe if you have your kids, maybe they moved out, maybe you can talk to them about their finances at the table. Or maybe your kids are teenagers right now and you can talk to them about finances. Or even younger than that, you can hand your child a allowance or um, maybe their payment of doing their chores, and you can tell them, if you run out, don't ask me for anything. That sounds like my dad. And so I say that to say this, that keep teaching your kids at an early age, as early as you can. Maybe you haven't taught them all the way until they were in their teenage years, or you still haven't taught them. Maybe they're teenagers right now. Maybe you can talk to them right now. Pull them aside. Don't be embarrassed. If your finances are bad, you can say, look at me. My finances are not good. I don't want you to live the lifestyle of a struggling parent or a struggling adult in your life. So keep on teaching your kids about finances. Even if I had my finances all wrong, I would tell my kids to watch YouTube videos on finances so that they could go on in life and be successful. So that's why I'm making this video today, is on teach your kids at an early age. No matter how young you think they are, they're always going to be paying attention. My mom is a elementary teacher, or she has her degree in her master's in her early childhood development. And what she taught me is that your kids are going to be like a sponge. That's why if you have profanity, or if you speak profanity around them, they're going to pick it up. So why don't you teach them something that they need to know? Finances, math, addition and subtraction, the basics of finances. So teach your kids on the importance of finances, importance of paying your bills on time, the importance of placing money in savings account, the importance of giving, the importance of just giving to charities, the importance of all things, keeping a buffer in your checking account for an emergency, short-term emergency, savings for long-term emergencies. Maybe if you follow my channel, maybe a bill account, so you're never struggling for bills, which I never have. And although I'm blind, I never struggle on finances because I'm always putting money in my bills, and I've never struggled. So just teach them importance of paying their bills and budgeting. And that's very important. To this day, it still comes in handy. I live alone. My sister, my brothers, they all live alone. And none of us are struggling as bad as we would if we never knew about finances. So teach your kids about finances. I don't know how other families do things, but sometimes it's not good just to say they can watch and learn, because some kids are not going to just watch and learn. Some people have to be explained. They have to be pulled aside and say, this is where your money needs to go. So we're all different. We're all not a cookie cutter kind of people. Everybody is their own individual. So teach your child, because you know your children the way they need to be taught. So teach them so they never have to struggle, and tell them to teach their own kids. And if you're watching my video right now and you're learning, I'd say give it a like. And if you're teaching your kids on finances, put something, maybe leave a comment that you're teaching your kids on finances, or I need to teach my kids on finances. Nothing embarrassing about it. I gotta always stress on that, because I was just going through my last video and I noticed that we gotta always teach our kids on finances, the importance, how I learned. Even as a teenager, I remember watching a video, wrestling video, the WWE Monday Night Wars, and this guy, he was a vice president or president at the time, Eric Bischoff. He mentioned something on finances. If you can find that, there's a little part where he talks about how he flipped the company around and started doing some cost cutting to save the company money, and later on it helped. And so that is where I learned some more finances or financial tips. Maybe it wasn't made just for that, but if Eric Bischoff ever watches my videos, I would say thank you to him, because he taught me a lot on that, because I see my finances and my finances as a business, and that's how I always see it. So I don't want it to be in the negative. I want it to be in the positive, like any business. So guys, keep teaching your kids on finances. Even if you talk to them one day, maybe they're in their teenage years, and maybe do it over and over again. Maybe do it in another year, see how their finances are doing. Maybe in like another year after that, maybe do it annually, maybe every few months, depending. It's up to you, but just keep talking to your kids about finances. I don't want people to constantly struggle. Where I live at, people are constantly struggling. I always see them at the loan places and always asking their grandmas and parents for money. Let's go not be like that, and let's go just keep on succeeding in this generation. Let's make this generation better, and let's keep on improving our finances. That's why I want to do this video on the narrative. This is my story time on when I started learning about finances at a young age. It was between 6 through 8 years old. Maybe it's every month at that time. But keep on teaching them and let them grow, and so they can be successful adults in their futures. Everybody, I'm the Frugal Cyborg MR3. This is the narrative. And if you like this video, then give it a like. And everybody, have an awesome week. Everybody stay frugal.